Hello, everybody. My name is Mia, your mystic therapist, and I am here to teach you about the spirituality of your menstrual cycle. If we knew this information, the sacredness, the spirituality of our menstrual cycles, the world would be a much better place. And this information is not only for the women, but this is also for the men so that we can understand our own divinity and work better in harmony with each other. Okay. So, I'm going to start off with a story about our ancestors, right? So, back in ancient times, before there was electricity, our ancestors were, obviously they lived on the land. So, the women were what we would consider the shamans of the civilization because they understood that the women were literally the portals from the spiritual world into the physical world. So our wombs, right? The way that we can bring children into our body, their souls into our body as a portal and push them out of our bodies. The men and the women of the village just understood that as just, their nature, right? And so because of this, the womb is so important. It is literally when you imagine that your womb space is like a cosmic portal to the universe, right? So it's so connected to the moon. It literally, like, before, electricity, all women bled on the full moon, and on the new moon they ovulated. Everyone, that's why, if you are around women right now, you will notice that your periods will start to sync up and y'all will start having your periods at the same time. So what happened in order for them to survive. So this is literally for evolutionary purposes and just understanding, what women represented. And even these words, women and man and female and male and, God and goddess, these are all just such English words. They don't even fully encompass the divinity that is who we are. So this language that I'm using, I'm going to find out a higher level word for it, but I'm going to say it so you can know what I'm talking about. Anywho, so back in the day, a couple of days before the menstrual cycle started, right? Our ancestors, they would go off into nature. The women of the community, they would go off into nature either by themselves or with other women in order to sleep, dream, bleed on the earth, right? Literally sleeping, dreaming, journaling, because during that time, the veil between the spiritual realm and the physical realm is literally non-existent. So we get more information, we get spiritual downloads from the universe. Like, so during that time, our ancestors, they knew this. And during that time, being around the men or the children, they would kind of interrupt that process, right? So, during that time, they would receive messages about the harvest. Where do we need to do this? How do we need to do that? What do we need to do in order for our society to survive? Okay, we came back from our menstrual bleeding time. Let us go back into the village and tell our men that we must move north, and things like that, right? So we were literally the shamans of that time, and that was just very natural and normal, right? So that's the beginning. That's the beginning of this video. I just think let's just pause for a moment, because just pause and just think about that for a minute. How does that show up in your life right now? A few days before your period comes on, you're wanting to go away from the children and from the men so that your dreams become more potent. You start to see what's not working anymore. You see the things that are wrong and the things that you need to fix, whether it's in your life, within yourself, within the people who you're surrounded by. A lot of women during that time, they start to want to break up with their partners. It's a very encoded ancient thing that our bodies does. And if we bring this information back into this time and we honor it, then we will live a better life. We can live more in alignment with our DNA, with our ancestral lineage, and who we are as women connected to the universe. So I like to say goddesses, right? So going into this next part, we're gonna break down the four seasons that we go through literally on a 28-day cycle, like the moon, like literally moon cycle, menstrual, like, you know what I'm saying? So, I took a little note, to take some notes, because I like to make sure I'm coming with, I want to say coming with the heat, but that too, and making sure that I'm giving you the best, well-researched information at all times. So we are going to start with the winter time. That is menstruation. That is when we start to bleed. That is the time that literally the veil between the spiritual realm and the physical realm for women are completely almost non-existent. We become very sensitive to everything that's coming, that's, we become very sensitive to everything. We become more intuitive about people, and sometimes we become overwhelmed because of this energy that we're having. So this is a time that our inner dark goddess comes up. And when I say dark goddess, that is the ancient part of yourself, the cosmic being essence of who you truly are. And it's coming up to, during the full moon, help you to release what no longer serves you, right? And so during that time, you need to be introspective. And that is why during that time, we need to be alone or with other women, right? We need to be by ourselves a little bit more. We don't want to be completely abandoned or anything like that, because I think a lot of people do get like the PMS guilt and stuff like that. I've definitely experienced some of that. It was not the most comfortable, but it's okay. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So, dang, you ever just like look at yourself and get distracted by your own beauty? Like, I just had one of those moments. I'm like, so, what was I talking about? Okay. During this time, you need to be having some tea. You need to be having some soup. You need to be relaxing. Just be in the bed. Don't work as much. Something that I did last week, y'all, my menstrual cycle came on. It switched, so I didn't know what day it was coming on, but it just, it came on. And I had a lot of clients at my business. I don't mind, like, I love my business tarot inner work readings for my clients. I love that. So for me, it's just so effortless. It's so easy. I can use all my gifts. I have a lot of support from the angels. And my therapy job, I'm working with clients who are very depressed, very suicidal. Some of them maybe even homicidal, right? That's a lot of energy that I was taking in during that week that I was working while I was on my cycle. And because of that, I ended up falling sick. I ended up having a migraine. I ended up needing to take a whole day to rebalance my energy. Because during that time, the veil between the spiritual realm and the physical realm is very, very thin. So I'm receiving more information from the universe, more information for humanity. And then my body, physically, right, is going through a process of grief because it hasn't gotten pregnant. Your body literally falls into a depression every month. It sinks you into the depths of your pain every month in order for you to process things. It's a very necessary cycle for us to continue to evolve as women. And that is why when women are in tune with their cyclic nature, they literally become a force to be reckoned with. And it's not a force to be reckoned with in a masculine sense where it's like you're outside riding a motorcycle and trying to fight people all the time. No, nothing like that. But just saying, like, you're able to manifest better. You're able to manifest more, right? You're at this time, you're sitting with yourself, you're crying, you're grieving, you're intentionally releasing what no longer serves you. Someone like me, I love to do me a full moon ritual, candle rituals, spells, things like that. I'm a very spiritual woman. If you would like to work with me to, learn about the magical things, I'm here, the mystic therapist. Okay. So yes, going into the next phase. So that's what's happening during our winter time, right? And then we're going to go into what we would call, what's after winter? Spring, honey. So that is called the follicular phase. So this is literally the springtime of our menstrual cycles. During this time, we just came out of the winter time when we were bleeding, So now we start to get a little bit more energized. It's building up slowly. It's coming back, right? So we are ready to plant the seeds for the new. We're ready to start to sow, something in the dirt, right? for us to blossom something, for the next season. We start to maybe clean or organize the house a little bit more, right? We become a little bit more excited, to be alive. The flowers are blooming and things like that, right? So during this time, the veil between the spiritual realm and the physical realm has started to close a little bit more. So maybe you're not as sensitive. You understand what I'm saying? And so during this time, it is the perfect time to get back into your exercise regimen, right? Because when you're on your moon cycle, when you're bleeding, you may switch it up a little bit. You might just do some gentle yoga or something like that. But during this time, you can get back in the gym. You can start doing your thing. You can, start doing the things that you almost need you start doing or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. I don't know what y'all be doing. Do you start doing what you be doing? Okay. So next, we are going to go into the next season of our lives, right? our menstrual lives, right? That is called the ovulation time, honey. Your body is like, I am so ready to get pregnant right now. So your titties get bigger, okay? You're juicier down there, right? You're emitting this estrogen. You're emitting these hormones that's making everyone want to have sex with you. Everyone wanting to get you pregnant. This is the summertime. What happens in the summertime? We get all hot. We get all excited, right? And you're not as sensitive, right? You have a little bit more testosterone, right? We're predominantly estrogen, but we do have a little bit testosterone. So your sex drive gets higher, right? So during this time, it's not even, that's just on the physical level. From the spiritual perspective, you are able to, when I say manifest, your manifestations are going to be so potent. Like that is around the time of the new moon, your ovulation time. This is before, electricity. Some people bleed on different times of the month, but the new moon, you are literally able to set intentions and manifest, and you have so much energy and so much power. So when you put that energy, when you put that sexual energy, that ovulation energy into your candle magic, it's going to be so potent. And it's going to make it come so much quicker. Trust me, I do this every month, okay? You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, you're wanting to manifest. And that shows up in the body. You're wanting to manifest life. You start to, let me go plant the seed, right? And then men, they just pick up on it. We're all energy. So no matter how you're presenting, we all feel energy, right? So then we're going to go into the next phase, honey, right? What happens after the summertime? It's so exciting. Everyone's at the beach. Everyone's prancing around. A lot of kids get made at this time, right? So what happens after that? The fall. The fall comes around. The leaves starts to crumble. They're so beautiful, but they start to fall off the trees. This is when the veil between the spiritual realm and the physical realm, it starts to get a little bit smaller, right? And so we become more sensitive as women, right? We become more irritable because our spirit is naturally pulling ourselves within. What did I say? What happened with our ancestors days before their menstrual cycle started? Whatever. They would literally start to trek into the forest with other women or with themselves. So just imagine in this society, you're going through your PMS cycle and then you still got to show up to work. You still, while you're going through all of that. And then at this time, on a hormonal level, your estrogen drops. Your body starts to become very depressed because you're not pregnant yet, right? And then your cortisol rises up, so you start getting more stress. That's the stress hormone. Your progesterone shoots up, which starts to cause cramping and headaches. Really pulling you within. The dark goddess starts to come and take over you. And what the dark goddess does, she sees and knows all. The dark goddess is the dark matter that holds everything into place. They see and know all. So you will be getting honest with yourself inside of yourself, which will make you more emotional. You may, on a physical level, it's like, hey, why didn't you get me pregnant? And on a spiritual level or on a life level, it's like, hey, why didn't you set those boundaries I told you to set on the new moon? Right? It depends on how you handle the rest of the month that'll dictate the level of severity, of the pain that you feel during your PMS cycle. So this is why it's important to understand this energy. And I can go so much deeper with every single phase of this, but this is just me coming to touch on it and just give y'all, the seeds and the deliciousness, but the seeds. And we can get, if you are interested in me taking you on a journey of how to live your life, eat your food, practice your spirituality, what spells to do, things like that throughout a 28-day moon cycle of your menstrual cycle. If you want something like that, drop 4 hearts in the comments and tell me I want something like this, because I think that this would be something that I would really not only be good at, but would be able to help so many people with, because I help my clients individually. So I'm like, it would be cool to do that collectively. So let me know if y'all are interested in me going deeper and actually guiding y'all through that process. But anywho, so the fall time, you're about to go back into the winter time again. So you start the whole process again of going into the forest, which you're going into within yourself, your own inner forest. And everybody else is kind of annoying. So you're going to start getting a little bit more irritated. So it's important to know that when you are about to start this is a time, the fall, we call it PMSing, the follicular phase. Your body's becoming more sensitive to energy, food. Remember, food is energy. So during this time, your follicular phase in your menstrual cycle, your menstruation phase, honey, drinking alcohol might not be the best option for you, because you already are extraordinarily connected to the spiritual realm. Now you're connected to the dark forces of this. That's exhausting for the body. And you got to drink a lot of water to combat all this energy. A lot of water, a lot of meditation, a lot of rest in order for us to be okay. We need to work less during these times too. That's something that I'm still working on. I was doing a pretty good job, but last month it just was like, oh, child, honey. But I'm gonna get it back, because for me, if I push myself too hard and I'm psychic. I'm a freaking medium. So the veil between the spiritual realm and the physical realm is already very thin for me all the time. Right? So imagine when I'm doing that on my cycle, it's a lot of energy and it takes over my body and it's exhausting. So I have a lighter load, during these times, because I'm transmuting energy. And it doesn't mean that for 2 weeks, or a week out of the month, out of your 28-day cycle, you're like useless or something. Like, no. Please remember, you're a goddess. Your usefulness is just simply in existing, honey. You just existing is useful enough. Okay? But you can still, a way that you can channel your PMS energy. Remember, at that time, you start to see the things that are not, not working for you. So what you can do is, I have a business. Let me go online and go over this strategy so I can see what's not working, so that you're not channeling that in your relationship with your partners. You know what I'm saying? Or letting go of what no longer serves you. Maybe it's some habits. I don't know. Only you know. Only you know what you need to do. But understanding this is going to help you so much. So yes, if this video made you feel so seen and understood and taught you something today, please drop 4 hearts in the comments. I would love for you to share this video with every woman that you know who's open to spirituality. Whatever. I hope everyone can see it. I just, as long as we can respect everyone, different spiritual belief systems, and just remember that our ancestors, their spiritual belief system was nature. And so that is me too, very ancient. And so let's all respect each other. We're all women. I want all of us to be well. I want us all to be healthy and just, everything. We all deserve to be loved, cherished, successful, happy, joyful, in our divine feminine energy, in our healthy sexual energy, healed, whole, complete. We all deserve to feel this way. And so let's all come together and love each other and support each other and share wisdom with each other. All right. So thank you so much for watching this video. Again, my name is Mia, the Mystic Therapist, honey. You can find all of my information below if you would like to work with me, book some sessions with me. I am a creative arts psychotherapist and counselor, as well as a highly trained tarot reader and a psychic medium, and also a candle enchantress as well, honey, if you need to manifest some things with candle magic. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you have a fabulous rest of your year. Okay, bye. Mwah.